Welcome back to California Cooking. Today, we're checking out a new Texas-style barbecue joint. Plus, I have a few delicious weeknight meals you gotta try. First up, let's head over to a new restaurant that's specializing in slow-cooked Texas-style barbecue with a Roadhouse vibe.
Hi, I'm Chef Jimmy, the executive chef and pitmaster here at Cork and Batter Roadhouse, Simi Valley. I grew up in the San Gabriel Valley. My dad has a big family. My dad has 9 brothers and 2 sisters, so all of my uncles all the time would be barbecuing. Everybody stole a little bit from this one, a little bit from this one, and you know, of course, my 2 aunties would pass down the sides that my grandmother used to make, so taking a little bit from everyone is how I landed where I am today. Maybe in my 40s, I felt like, you know, I want to do something that makes me happy. I love barbecuing. I love being around the grill. I like being around people. I feel like it's the most social form of cooking. And that's when I felt like this is what I want to do for the rest of my career. I started out at a small spot in Van Nuys, and I learned, you know, some techniques there. And after that, I ended up going with legendary pitmaster Kevin Bloodsoe. And Kevin took me under his wings. He really showed me what Texas barbecue was all about. Took me to Texas. We did a couple barbecue tours out there and really showed me the ins and outs of what Texas barbecue is all about. So being under his expertise really took my pit game to the next level. When we used to go to Stagecoach with Guy Fieri, that was a really important moment in my life because it showed me not only where he came from and what he's doing now, but where I want to be as well and where I want to go. So it was really nice doing that. Cooking at Super Bowl was a lot of fun. I mean, we cooked for 30,000 people and it was amazing. Texas barbecue I like because Texas barbecue is low and slow. It's cooked with a mixture of woods. All of Texas barbecue, you really want to taste the meat. You let the wood do the work, you let the pit do the work. You get good cuts of meat so that they stand out, and you don't have to drown it in sauce. You don't have to drown it in any of those things. So that's why I really like Texas barbecue. So when I connected with Boulevard Hospitality Group, you know, they've already have a bunch of successful locations throughout Los Angeles and Orange County. We talked about doing barbecue, and we talked about where we want to do barbecue, and he says, hey, I have a spot in Simi Valley. What do you think? Do you think you can come do barbecue out there? I was like, yeah. So we came out, we looked at the location. We did a couple of pop-ups. The people of Simi Valley were very receptive to it. They've just a great community, great group of people, and it kind of just motivated us to do what we did with this Cork and Batter location. Our sister restaurant, Cork and Batter in Inglewood, is a sports bar, so it's literally right next door to the Intuit Dome where the Clippers play and right across the street from SoFi Stadium. And what we're doing here in Simi is kind of the same. We try to bring some cross items over, but here at Roadhouse, we also have an extensive barbecue menu, and that's what kind of sets the 2 locations apart. When I describe this restaurant, I describe it as a modern Texas Roadhouse. It's got that old juke joint vibe, but with a modern twist. We have something for everyone. There's definitely something for everyone. We have pool tables. We have multiple TVs that'll be broadcasting all the favorite games. Also, we have live entertainment on the weekends. So some of the recipes that we definitely have here came definitely from my family, my grandmother, my 2 aunties, our mac and cheese, our cornbread. All of the meats came from just trial and error, doing all this stuff with my uncles. Everything is a part of my family legacy and part of my family history. We're here outside in my office. I have my beautiful Lola here behind me. She's all warmed up and she's got smoke ready to go. And today we're gonna demonstrate some baby back ribs for you guys. Baby back ribs are a favorite. It's like a snack. It's like a barbecue snack. That's why we love it so much. When we start off, we're gonna start off with our rub. It's a little bit of seasoning salt, a little bit of granulated garlic, a little bit of granulated onion, a little bit of smoked paprika, a little bit of black pepper. Again, these are all ingredients that you'll have at your house. Ground mustard, a little bit of cayenne pepper, just to bring out the flavor. One of the tips with cayenne pepper, you don't want to use cayenne pepper to actually heat your dish. This actually brings out all of the other flavors, kind of marries the flavors together. And a little bit of chili pepper flakes. And then we add the brown sugar. to hold it all together. So go in there with your hands, give it a nice mix. Make sure you're getting all of those seasons mixed up so that way when you distribute it onto the rib, everything is nice and even and you have a nice crust on it afterwards. So once you get like this orange color, this orange consistency, that's how you know everything's mixed properly. And we just want to give a nice even coat over the top of the ribs and just kind of rub it in. You don't have to press it too much, but you just want it to stick. A lot of people pat it in. I like to rub this one in because it's the brown sugar and I want it to set into the rib. I don't want it to be on the outside to where you can rub it off because we are gonna finish these with our famous sweet and spicy apricot sauce as well. This dry rub that we're putting on is important because this is what is gonna set the flavor into the meat. So you want your meat to catch the flavor all the way through. It's a pretty thick piece of meat, so you want to make sure you season it correctly so that the insides get the flavor as well. Remember, we're only going to be smoking at 250 degrees, so this won't be over a direct flame. It's just going to get the ambient heat and the smoke, which is going to allow that seasoning to kind of really settle into the meat. So on the back side, you just want to make sure you have everything covered. You don't have to season too much of the back of the rib. One of the tricks too for baby back ribs for all of you guys at home is peeling this membrane. This membrane will make sure your rib is nice and soft. A lot of people don't peel it, but I like to peel it because when you go to bite the rib, the meat will fall off the bone instead of you having to tug it off the bone. And this is what you're looking like right before it goes into the smoker. If you don't have a smoker at home, you can also use a grill, big green egg. You can use anything to cook. You can actually cook these in the oven as well. We're gonna run this at 250 degrees. I'm gonna smoke it with pecan wood and red oak, and then we'll come back and finish with a little bit of apple. You wanna go probably 3 hours and at 250 degrees. It's been 3.5 hours. We have this beautiful mahogany color on our ribs. That comes from the apple wood that we put on at the end. And we just want to kind of finish it up with a little bit of our sweet and spicy apricot sauce. It just goes so well with the baby back rib. I never sauce any of my meats, but this one right here just pairs so well with the baby back rib, and it's just beautiful. And then when you go to slice it, there you go. Nice smoke ring, nice pink smoke ring, fall off the bone tender. That's exactly what you're looking for, that color, that pink smoke ring, and that beautiful mahogany color on the outside. Please come down and check us out. It's a beautiful thing.
Coming up, 2 weeknight meals full of veggies and flavor, a crispy rice salad that's tangy, crunchy, and a little spicy, and a minestrone soup that is a weeknight winner. I have to admit, I don't usually get excited about salads, but when it's topped with crispy rice and seasoned ground beef, I'm in. Here's my crispy rice salad. Levi's back. Hi.
Hi.
I've missed you. You know what, Levi and I tell everyone what we've been doing.
We've been making bread.
Levi's really.
And there's some in the fridge over there.
Yeah, maybe we'll show everyone what we created a starter.
And now we made a dough, and we're probably gonna mess up because we put the wrong flour in it.
That's possible. But yeah, it took 2 weeks to get our starter going, and now we're gonna make sourdough bread. But today, what we're gonna make is a very exciting salad. Are we excited? I've seen all these different recipes with crispy rice, and I have become obsessed.
You almost broke my teeth with crispy rice.
Right. It can be tricky on the teeth, but so I'm addicted to crispy rice. So what you need to make a crispy rice salad is some day-old rice. So I have some rice, just your plain white rice.
Some olive oil.
I'm using avocado oil. You could use coconut oil, but I wouldn't do olive oil just to make sure it doesn't impart too much flavor. But you want to coat your rice, and I've got an oven at 375. Can you dump this on the tray?
You gotta fluff it up.
I'm gonna hit it with a little salt. But basically, you just spread it out.
Get into little pieces.
Now into
The oven.
how much does Theo love rice?
A lot.
First thing we're gonna do is marinate our cucumbers. I don't let Levi use this machine because I don't even like using the mandolin. It's very scary, but it uniformly cuts things. Will you help me start adding lettuce to our bowl? You can use whatever lettuce you like. That's a mix of
We're
things.
using this lettuce. It's baby greens crunch.
We've got our cucumbers. Here's what I'm gonna do with these. Rice wine vinegar, and then you just let those marinate. Just even a few minutes is fine. So you let those get kind of tangy
And these are my favorite.
I know,
I love those.
I do too. Try one. We need a little agave. Like when you pickle anything, it's salt and sugar. So we've got our cucumbers. We'll just let those sit. Will you add a handful or two of the shredded carrots? I have a little white cabbage, and I'm just gonna cut up a little bit of that. Some very thinly sliced cabbage. What's your favorite thing to eat for dinner these days?
A veggie taco. Well, I also would like to have sushi.
Cabbage there. Now let's do some cilantro. Chop up a little, like a rough chop.
Could I chop it up?
Carefully. There you go. Just, yep.
All done.
You keep fingers out of the way. Cilantro. Let's cut up. We're gonna cook with some of the green onion.
I like cutting those.
Okay.
You cut off the little hairy bits.
Yep. So sprinkle those on the salad. I'm also going to cut some radishes. So this has got all kinds of veggies. On top of this salad, I'm gonna do some ground beef, ginger, garlic, some spices, and some onion. Time to cook up our beef. You could do anything. You could do salmon, you could do shrimp. I mean, it's endless what you could put on the salad, honestly.
Wagyu.
He's got a bit of an obsession with Wagyu. So in here, I've got some avocado oil. You could do coconut oil. I'm gonna put in so I want things to get kind of crispy.
Let me
Just
try.
break up the meat. So you gotta go, remember, don't touch the side. I'm gonna do some black pepper, a little bit of salt, some sesame oil. Now the trick, you want to leave the beef on one side so it really gets nice and brown. In goes our scallions
That I cut up.
that you cut up, and then garlic, a few cloves of garlic. This is our ginger. Can you do that?
As much ginger.
As much as you can get in.
As much ginger you could find at sushi restaurants.
So I'm just letting it get really brown and crispy. Sesame seeds.
Let me put it
Okay.
in.
Go up high. Coconut aminos. I'm gonna flip the meat. And I'm gonna add some gochujang, fermented chili paste. You don't have to go this route, but it adds a little something that I find interesting, and if you have it, cool. And our rice, you know what? I think I'm gonna just leave it as is, because Levi's right. If you over crisp it, you're breaking your teeth. Okay, we're ready to assemble our salad. We have our cucumbers that we're marinating in rice wine vinegar, a little bit of
I'm gonna
agave.
get one.
We're gonna sprinkle those on so they're vinegary. How's the crispy rice?
Good.
We're gonna make a little dressing. I've got some mayo, lime, and a lot of sriracha. And then we're gonna stir that up. Try the beef.
It's really good.
Ready? Are you ready to plate? In goes our crispy, gingery, sesame, garlicky, slightly spicy, slightly sweet ground meat. Okay, can you add the rice for me? Right on top. It's like a crouton almost, you know?
This is a good piece.
Some avocado. Now, last but not least, we're gonna do our sriracha. This just goes across like this, like a little drizzle.
Treat it like ranch.
Yeah, exactly. Treat it like ranch. And
Done.
our salad is complete. Ladies first. Hey! No, go ahead. Kids first. You gotta get a little bit of the veggies. You need a little of the sriracha, and then I'll get you some more meat too. I got the crispy.
I don't get any
I
crispy.
didn't break my tooth.
This
What do you
is
think?
really, really good.
Veggies can be delish. Before we go, look what I pulled out of the fridge. Your sourdough. Oh, good. This has been 2 weeks in the making to get the starter and the dough. We made the dough last night. So we'll bake it and let everybody know how it turns out, okay?
Yeah.
Thanks, Levi.
I'll let you know how this turns out.
Okay, Levi, what do we think?
I think it's a little burnt, but that's okay, because I think the inside's still good.
Our first attempt at sourdough. Okay, should we try to cut it open? Here, move
Cut
your
it
finger.
open. You bet it's not going to work.
Well,
That looks like sourdough.
okay, a little melted butter. Coming up, a well-stocked pantry can help you pull together a soup in no time. My version of minestrone coming up next. There is something really satisfying about a homemade soup. It's quick and easy, but also great to have as leftovers throughout the week. I saw an article the other day that talked about a family. I believe they lived in Italy. They are the oldest living family they claim in the world. And this family, all the siblings lived into their 90s, and what they ate every day for lunch? Minestrone soup with sourdough bread and a glass of wine. And I thought, these people know how to live. And the thing about minestrone soup, it's so simple. It's full of vegetables and beans, and that's obviously something that could contribute to a long life. So here's to minestrone soup. There are a few different, I think, methods, ways of doing it, things you could add to your minestrone. I happen to have cabbage here. A lot of people use, I think, kale possibly, but I'm gonna go with cabbage. The other day I made it, I just happened to have like a half a jar of marinara sauce, some stock, all things you may have in the pantry, a little bit of pasta. First thing, I love white cabbage. I don't think white cabbage gets enough love when it's cooked down, when it's sauteed. It has so much flavor. So I'm gonna do a thin slice with my cabbage, but I think a half a head would be plenty. Also in the soup, we're gonna do a cannellini bean. So I'm gonna drain our cannellini bean. I always have boxed or canned beans. Some onion. So we'll chop up a little bit of onion and garlic, maybe half an onion, some garlic, maybe 2 or 3 cloves of garlic. So this is pretty much all the chopping we need to do. The other thing, I used the wrong carrots in my recipe. I had whole carrots that I used for something else, but that's okay. I have some shredded carrots. It's still a carrot. It'll be fine. And we'll just add that. So let's go get our soup going. Big pot, first things first. And we'll get some olive oil. We're gonna have our onion and our garlic, some salt and some pepper. Okay, get the aromatics going. Also, I'm gonna just go ahead and put in a couple of handfuls of my shredded carrots and just soften. You don't want to brown. Also back here, I have a pot of water. I'm going to cook the pasta separately. The reason I do that is if you have any intention of keeping your soup for the next day or so, if the pasta's in there, sometimes it just gets mushy and overcooked. So I'm gonna do it separate. You can always do it together if you'd like, but that's one way of keeping your pasta nice and firm. So I'm gonna do a pinch of dry thyme. Okay, turn it down because now we're going to add some of our marinara. And again, you don't need the whole jar, so if you have some leftover in the fridge, I'm gonna use about a half a jar. And then to that, our chicken stock. Okay, our cabbage now going in, and we'll cook down into the broth. Our cannellini beans drained. And the other thing that I love to do when I make a soup is I save my Parmesan rinds in the freezer. So when you're done with Parmesan, I keep these, and they add so much to stews and soups, so I just let that cook in there, and that's it. And you're gonna let it cook for a bit, check back with the seasoning, salt, see how that's doing. Put a lid on it, gently let that cook until all that cabbage wilts down. Pasta water is boiling, so a nice fat pinch of salt. And then our little ditalini pasta goes in, and this 10 minutes. Time to serve up some minestrone soup. The cabbage has cooked down. So the way I'd serve this, I did cook the pasta separately. The soup with the carrots and the white beans, chicken stock, cabbage, of course. The way I would serve that is some more Parmesan cheese on top. I would do a drizzle of olive oil, a little bit of pepper, and I just happen to make a grilled cheese because who doesn't love grilled cheese and soup? Put a little cheddar and mozzarella in there. Cozy bowl of soup. That is good and good for you, but more importantly, tastes good. For all the complete recipes we featured today, you can follow us on Instagram at KTLA California Cooking. That does it for us. Thank you guys for joining. We'll see you next time.
Now I broke a tooth on one of this. Now there's a gold tooth.
Yeah, Daddy chipped his tooth and now he has a gold tooth. Levi wants to do a YouTube channel where he bakes bread,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. You better subscribe to it.